All right, welcome to grade 7 math. Here, we're talking about divisibility rules. Now, this is going to help you with chapters 1.1, 1.2, something like that. Very important, these divisibility rules are going to help us kind of bypass and go really fast through our homework. Now, I wrote here, a whole number is divisible by, our first number is 2. So, a whole number is divisible by 2 if the number is even. Let's do the next one. What's after 2? Now the rule for 3 is, okay, this one's kind of cool. So a whole number is divisible by 3 only if you add up all of the digits, so the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. If the sum of the digits, so we add up all the digits, is divisible by 3. All right, example here is 39. Take your two digits, okay, and add them up. Find the sum. So what's 3 plus 9, right? You ask yourself, what's 3 plus 9? 3 plus 9 is 12. Is 12 divisible by 3? Yeah, you already know that from grade 2. It's 4. So that's how you take the sum of the digits to find out if it's divisible by 3. To find out if a whole number is divisible by 3. A whole number is divisible by 4 only if, this one's a little bit complicated, if the number represented by the last two digits, so looking at the last two digits here, is divisible by 4. Let's do a quick example. Number like 352, okay? Scratch out the 3 and just look at 52. Okay, the last two digits right here, last two digits. Ask yourself, can they divide 52 by 4? Now you can do the long division here or just do mental math and you know that 52 divided by 4 is 13. Let's keep it rolling. All right, another easy one here for 5. So a whole number is divisible by 5 only if the ones digit is 0 or 5. Easy. Example 25. 25 ends in a 5. So we know it's divisible by 5. Another one is like 10. Okay, 10 ends with a 0. We know it's divisible by 5. All right, let's do the next one. All right, this next one is a little bit complicated for a 6. So if a whole number is divisible by 6 only if the number is divisible by 2 and by 3. So we have to combine those two rules. If you remember, the rules for 2 was that it had to be even, and the rule for 3 was the sum of the digits had to be divisible by 3. So I'll give you an example here, 42. You should probably already know that, yeah, 42 divides by 6. But let's just do the example. So for 2, the rule is it has to be even. So look at the last digit here, 2 is even. So this one's checked off, we're good. Now, is it divisible by 3? Well, let's add up, let's find the sum of these two digits. 4 plus 2 is 6, okay? And now you ask yourself, is 6 divisible by 3? Obviously it is, so it checks off by 3 and 2. Therefore, that number is divisible by 6, aka 42 can be divided by 6. Let's move on. All right, next one, 8. There's no rule for 7, that's why we skipped 7, but we got a rule for 8. Okay, and this one's a little bit complicated, and it only works with big numbers because it says if the number represented by the last 3 digits is divisible by 8, then it works. So an example here is you get a big number like 1,192. Just look at the last 3 digits and divide that by 8. And if that works, then the whole thing is divisible by 8. So it's a little trick. 9. So a whole number is divisible by 9 only if the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. So it's very similar to the divisibility rule for 3. So let's look at here an example. 729, super big number. We don't know anything about that. We don't want to do it. We just ask ourselves, what's 7 plus 2? 9. Plus 9, 18. And 18, then you ask yourselves, is 18 divisible by 9? And that's a lot easier. That's an easy yes than asking yourself, is 729 divisible by 9? The final one for today is 10. Perhaps the easiest one, say for last, a whole number is divisible by 10 if the ones digit is 0. Easy example is 10. Okay, look at the ones column. 0 can be divided by 0. We can do 50. The ones column is still 0. Even 1,000, ones digit is still 0. You can go on forever. I'm not going to do that. That's boring. Those are the first divisibility rules that are important for grade 7. These will help you in your homework.